Hey guys, today we're gonna go through the rest of my PSA returns. So everything older than black and white era is right here, these 19 cards. We have some WOTC, we have a couple of Japanese vintage cards. We got black and white era cards, we got hard gold, soul silver, some EX era stuff as well. So stick around for that. If you haven't checked out part 1 or part 2, in part 1, we go through my modern slabs, and in part 2, my X and Y era slabs with a few Sun and Moon cards there as well. Also, if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't liked the video yet, please do that. That motivates me to make more videos. So if you enjoy the content, like and subscribe. But let's get to it. Okay, so I'll start going through these from the most recent one to the oldest one. And I'll start with a Plasma Freeze Max Potion, a golden card as an 8. Definitely not one you should be grading. Like, this one has pretty clear whitening there on the corner, so pretty easy, like an 8 or at most a 9. And the only way these kinds of cards gain any true value is if they are 10s. And then we go to another marginal one, but this one actually was a successful attempt. So this is only going for about €2 as a near mint card on Card Market, but as a PSA 10 it's going for like $80 to $90. The pop for this is only 11, so that maybe explains that a bit. But yeah, I would prefer, and most collectors would probably prefer it be a reverse one, but still a pretty nice find by me. Like, having a regular uncommon, a pretty recent one, be worth like $80 to $90 is a pretty nice find, yeah, for sure. Then we go to another, well, I went looking for big results and didn't find them. So this actually, I didn't send it as an incomplete holo error, but it is it has the incomplete holo error here, if you can actually see it or not. I don't know. I'll have to check if I can get it reholdered with my next submission. But still, even with the error, I don't think it's too valuable. But still, yeah, it's a 9, it's okay. Then we go to black and white full art Reshiram. I think these are, is this the first or one of the first full art cards in Pokemon? It came back as a 9, which was pretty much the maximum it could come back as. It has somewhere on the back, it's going for about like €20 on Card Market, and well, yeah, an auction closed for $44, but for the most part these are going for like $75 if I remember correctly. Some fixed price was going for $100 a couple months back. But yeah, I guess summer is pretty slow on the market end. But yeah, I think this was a worthy submission, and yeah, I think it will fetch close to that $75 mark. Then we have a Thunderous from Emerging Powers as a PSA 10. Not a very valuable card raw, so about a €5 card on Card Market, and about $100 card as a PSA 10, which I think is pretty low for these early full art cards. This one only has a population of 82, so supply wise it is a very rare card. But yeah, the market just isn't very interested in it. Still a really nice PSA 10, and I actually really like the older cards like this. This one has like I like the texture on it. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it's a really nice card. Good to get these older PSA 10s as well. Then we have a triumphant Yan Mega Prime as a PSA 10 as well. Yeah, this is going for like, you could probably fetch like 25 euros on this on a card market. If you had just put it up as a near mint card, it would pretty easily, I guess, sell. And yeah, as a PSA 10, going for about 110, 120. And again, I feel like the population of these are so low that I think this going for 120 or something is just really cheap. But again, yeah, I'm not looking to sell these anytime soon. I'm hoping they gain some value at some point. But yeah, I really like getting older cards as PSA 10s, and yeah, this one a really nice return for sure. Then we have one of my most valuable cards. We have the Triumphant Gengar as a PSA 10. This one going for about, you could probably get 100 euros for this easily, or even more on card market. And the PSA 10 ones have been going for $800 to $900. Yeah, a really nice return. Definitely having a Gengar this old, and the population is only 137. I really don't see. I think the market is, well, there's just isn't demand for older cards, I guess. But I think the market is undervaluing these older PSA 10s from the turn of the decade, from 2010 on. But yeah, one of my most valuable cards in my collection. Really nice to get it back as a 10. Then we have a reverse Blaziken from Power Keepers as a PSA 9. I think this would have had a chance at being a 10, but it is quite off center, so that just pretty much automatically turns it into a 9. These going for, well, it's probably pretty hard, like the population is pretty low and there's not that much demand for a 9 reverse Power Keepers one. So I don't know, like how much does this raise its value? Probably like $20 to $30, 20 to 30 euros. It's hard to say. But again, I'm not too sad that, well, I'm actually happy it came back as a 9, because I think it's the most that it could have gotten. Yep, let's go forward. We have an Salamence Delta species reverse as a 6. Now I was pretty surprised by this when it came back as a 6, but when I looked a bit closer, there's actually like scratches on the foil, and yeah, just something that I should have pretty easily picked up on and just should have never sent it for grading. But yeah, now I have a PSA 6 Salamence from Delta species. Then we have a regular Houndoom from Aquapolis. Again, as an 8, these have been auctioned off for like $20 to $30. So not really any increased value if you take to account the grading fees. But yeah, might as well. I guess I just wanted to give these cards chances. But PSA, I feel, is also quite a bit more strict on vintage or close to vintage cards. So first off, yeah, from vintage, this is from my own collection. It's a Legendary Collection Zapdos, not the reverse one, just the regular one. It came back as an 8. And yeah, it has some, the corners just aren't good enough for it to be a 9. But I think this could have been a 9, and I think this would have been a 9 if it was 10 years more recent. But yeah, what I found out from PSA and CGC is that I think PSA grades vintage cards much more strictly. Okay, so next up we have a light Flareon as a PSA 8. A first edition one as well. Again, I don't know how much these will increase in value just because they're graded. I think you could get a pretty good price on Card Market for these, even as near mint raw copies. But yeah, I have this is from my own collection as well, and I wanted to grade these just because I have all 3 of them. So next up I have a light Jolteon, first edition as well. This one I really felt had a chance at being a 9, but no, not to be, I guess. And yeah, it's not like I'm I'm saying it should be for sure be a 9, but I think it's on that cusp of being an 8 or a 9. But yeah, it came back as an 8. Again, not really that much appreciation just by having it being graded as an 8. And finally here, the light Vaporeon as an 8 as well. So all 3 came back as 8, even though I do feel there's quite a bit of difference in condition. I think the Jolteon is much better than the Vaporeon, and the Flareon is also better than the Vaporeon. But yeah, I think if the card is in okay condition, PSA will just send it back as an 8 if it's a vintage card. So now an Umbreon, just a regular non-holo Neo Discovery Umbreon as a PSA 7. I guess I wanted to send this because I just had the other evolutions there. But yeah, I could kind of tell like this is not going to be worth it. Not really much of a price increase at all. And yeah, but these are cards from my childhood collection. And yeah, these are going to be the last cards I actually sell, if I do sell them at some point. So it really doesn't make that big of a difference to me. But yeah, of course I would have much rather have them be higher numbers. Yeah, another one I thought had a chance at being a 9 with the Zapdos, the Holo from Neo Revelation. There's just very little wrong with this card, but yeah, the corners not good enough, I guess. I really think this could have a shot at being a 9 as well. Well, you know, not to be. Again, not that big of a deal to me. Just a card from my own childhood collection that I graded. Then one of the only English vintage card that isn't from my collection, and it gets a 9, of course, because I just didn't take good enough care of my own cards, I guess. It's a first edition Saprinus Jinx from Gym Challenge. Again, not a lot of appreciation even as a 9. yeah, I kind of sent this thinking that it may even have a shot at being a 10, but no, not to be, not to be. PSA just really strict with this vintage card, much stricter, I guess, I think, than with like even black and white cards. Then we have a Koro Shining Mew, Japanese promo card, and it came back as a 5, which I found extremely surprising, just showing you that, well, with Japanese vintage cards, they seem to be extremely strict. I thought this had a shot at being an 8 or even a 9. I think when I looked at it, it may have some sort of like indentation or something. So I missed that and it came back as a 5. But again, I do think they're really strict with these older cards. And finally, we have Dark Charizard from Rocket Gang as a 4. And this one, again, like it's a pretty good, in pretty good condition for the most part, but I don't know if you can see it. There's like an indentation or like almost a crease, but yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but that just drops it down to a 4, I guess. So yeah, for the vintage cards, not a lot of appreciation. I'll be going through my CGC vintage cards next. There's quite a bit of more from my own collection that I sent to CGC. And yeah, in my experience, they're just not as strict with them. But yeah, I'll be seeing you around for that in, I think, a week. Please remember to like and subscribe, and hope to see you around again.